G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Wasteland Survival. Alright, so in the last episode we finished off by finishing the mining ship, and just after that episode ended, I ended up adding a few more wind turbines to the base. And I think what I'm going to do in this episode is build a large refinery, and then from there I'm going to start building the massive hangar that is going to tunnel through this mountain. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so obviously if I'm going to build a large grid or a large refinery, so let me just bring this block up so I can show you guys. And if we have a look here, you can see that we need about 1100 steel plates, 40 construction components, 20 large steel tubes, 16 motors, 20 metal grids, 20 computers, and another 100 steel plates. So everything except for the steel plates should be quite easy to come across. So yeah, just going to need a little bit to manufacture that. So and then also what I'm going to do is probably, so I'm probably going to run some conveyor tubes down here. I'm going to move this connector and this mining ship to just in between these two here. And then once I've done that, then I'm going to get started on the base. Alright, so let me just make sure that I have enough components to manufacture this refinery. Now, one of the great things about manufacturing or building this, just before we go ahead and get started, one of the great things about building this large assembler here is that if we go into the menu here, you can see if we go into production and we go to large blocks, we can actually build all the components we need for all these different items. So if we just search for refinery, and we just click that once, and you can see it's just going to go ahead and build all of the components for that refinery. So let me just quickly make sure that I have enough iron here. So I think I do have enough iron. Or maybe I don't. I might have to go and mine some more. So I'll go and do that, and then I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I've finally manufactured all the components that I need to build this refinery, and we are well into the night. Had to do a fair few mining trips, and actually died trying to find a new ore deposit. So yeah, had to kind of respawn, and as you can see, I've spawned into a generic suit here, but yeah, is what it is. So I'm probably going to just have to rock this suit for a little bit until we can get that sorted out. So yeah, now basically what I want to do is I want to build some conveyors underneath this floor here, and then get our connector moved over, because basically the refinery is going to get in the way of that mining ship parking there. So yeah, let's just have a look at this refinery, and let's just see where the actual connection points for this are. So if I have a look at the bottom of it, you can see that the connection point for the refinery is going to be in this corner here. So it's going to connect through that conveyor on the right there, and then through the bottom we'll be able to use that connection point for these conveyors. So what I'm going to have to do is grind this block, the block under there. So that means I'm going to need to put a block here. Let's just clear our build planner here. So I'm going to need to put a block like that to stop that from falling down, so I can grind this out, grind this, grind this, grind this, grind that, and that, and I'm going to have to place a whole bunch of conveyors there. Now I have already gone ahead and actually made all the components for all these conveyors already. So let me just empty my character's inventory so that we have more space. And as you can see, I have all my standard tools. So yeah, so basically you grab the block and then you use middle mouse button click to withdraw all the components for that. So I'm probably going to orientate it like this. Hopefully I should have enough components to build this. I think I should. I built enough components to build probably 5 of these things. Okay, so all the conveyors are placed down. So now I can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this ship. So the batteries should be quite well charged at the moment. Let me just make sure that the batteries are not set to recharge. Okay, yeah, they're set to auto. If the batteries here were set to recharge, then if I disconnected it from the connector, it would just literally fall to the ground, and then, you know, it would end up creating a huge mess. So yeah, that's something we definitely don't want to do. So let's just put this thing on the ground here temporarily. Let's exit out of it. I'll turn the thrusters off first, actually. These thrusters. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now let's quickly grind down this, and this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my connector. That one there. Load this up quickly. Awesome, and then I will build that back there. Get rid of these. Put everything back in there. Alright, now we're finally ready to build our refinery. Alright, so let's grab that refinery block and let's withdraw all the components for that. So as you can see, I was just constantly taking all the components out and then welding them straight into this. The time that it takes to weld a block is only when you're actually welding it. As far as placing all of the components into a block, then it's basically when you press the weld button for the first time, and then it puts all the components into that block, but it doesn't actually weld it up. Alright, cool. So what we can do now is we can actually get rid of this refinery. So I've actually turned it off and disabled the... and then from there what we can do is we can build a conveyor in its place. Build one there. Awesome. Oh, actually no. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move this O2H2 generator to that position.
Inventory full.
Yeah. Okay, so let's select the O2H2 generator and let's place it there. Cool. Alright, and now let's grab our mining ship, go back into the cockpit here, turn the thrusters back on, and then I basically want to move over to this position here. Lock that down. Awesome. And then exit the ship. Okay. And then just to make it easier to access all of these items, I think what I'm going to do is just build like a little bit of a ramp here. Even though it's going to be like sort of a temporary thing, but I think it will just make it a little bit easier to access all these things. Awesome, that's built. Okay, so now we have our large grid refinery up and running, and what I can do is I can actually grind these blocks out, and it's actually attached to that. So I'm going to put just a 45-degree angle block there, just so that we can access this port on the side of the refinery. And as you can see, we have manufactured a whole bunch of iron ingots, and let's just place them in there. So we have 7,470 iron ingots, so that should be quite a bit. Unfortunately, I can't move those items out of the ejector, so yeah, I'll just have to deal with that later, I suppose. Strangely enough though, some of the items managed to get into the ejectors here and then get ejected out. Okay, so I'm about to take this thing out on its maiden voyage, but to do that, or well, before I do that, there is a couple of things that I want to do. So number one, I actually want to change the name of some of these locations here, because I have way too many GPS markers around, so it's just going to be hard to navigate. So basically what I want to do is just leave one ore patch on my GPS locations that I can see on my HUD, and then from there I'm going to basically select something that's quite far away from the base but not too far, just because I don't want heaps of holes around, you know, my base and all that sort of stuff, because, you know, I do kind of care about the aesthetics somewhat. And the second thing is, I need to go in here and I need to fix some of the things that I didn't do in the last video. So you might have seen the text pop up on the screen where I didn't actually set up my ejectors properly. So let's just go in here and have a look at our ejectors. So yeah, you can see this one is turned on and this one here is actually turned off. So we'll turn that one on. And also the other thing was the interior light wasn't set correctly. So I'm just going to quickly do that. 190, 215. Set this to full radius, fall off 2.0, intensity to 2.0, and that should be pretty good. So as you can see, they're all the same now. Awesome. And then one last thing that I want to do is I actually want to add some lights to the base as well, because I can't really see it. Like if I go away from the base, I can only see it because the miner's there, and if I take the miner away, that's my only source of light, so it's going to be really difficult to actually see the base. So I think what I'm going to do is just add a couple of lights here just so that we can see what we are doing. So let's just select our interior light. There we go. Let's withdraw some components for that. Place one there, one there, there, and one there. Fold them up. Right, they're all welded up. Now, let's go into the control panel. Let's find our interior lights. Now I know that all these ones in white, these are the interior lights for the base, because everything that we're accessing through this control panel is connected to this grid, and these two lights are on the miner because they're a different color. So let's make them the same color. Don't ask me why I like this color, I just do. So we'll set the radius of those to 20 meters, the fall off to 2.0, and I like to put the intensity down to about 1.2. Yeah, and that should be good. So now I can turn my lights off, and I actually have a decent amount of lighting around this area. So it should be fairly easy to find this. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort through all these GPS markers, and then yeah, we'll be back in a second. I've gone and marked all of the ore locations that I actually want to keep. So as you can see, it's greatly reduced. So yeah, we're just going to basically use this mining ship now to mine a little bit of iron, and then once I've done that, I'm basically going to make a start on this base. So one other thing that I did while I was gone is I actually went and mined a whole bunch of silver, and from there I'm basically now going to be able to build some better tools. So I can build a proficient hand drill, a proficient grinder, and a proficient welder. But also what this will allow me to do is build medical components. So if we have a look at these, obviously now I can build some medical components, and this will be helpful for building something like a medical bay. And a medical bay is basically a better version of the survival kit. So yeah, that's definitely going to be helpful for us. So I'm not sure if I'm going to build that just yet. The survival kit kind of does the job for now. The only benefit that a medical bay has over a survival kit is that it's a lot faster to recharge your health and a lot faster to recharge your energy. And also similarly the oxygen and the fuel for your jetpack as well. But yeah, and the other benefit of having it is that you can customize your characters. But you know, you can do that in the main menu of the game as well, so yeah, I guess it's not really worth it for me. So also while we were gone, a storm hit and the wind generators went absolutely crazy, and we're able to fully charge the batteries on the drop pod miner, and then also the battery on the base is, you know, 1/3 of the way charged. So, but now all these batteries are fully charged, so before we disconnect, I'm going to change that to auto so that the ship doesn't fall into a heap on the ground. And yeah, I'm going to take it on its maiden voyage. So let's gain a little bit of altitude here, just so that we don't slam into any mountains. I'm probably going to go to the exterior view, because I noticed last time when I was driving the ship around, when I was inside the cockpit, it was just really loud and you couldn't hear much, so yeah. Alright, so let's go mine a little bit of iron, because we're going to need a lot of that. I think we have enough iron, or enough silicon and nickel for the time being. But you know, I guess we always have the option of mining more. So, and I think one other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ore detector to the hotbar, and I'm also going to add my antenna to the hotbar as well. So, and then if we go into the K menu, let's just have a look for the ore detector, and let's just make sure that the range for that is set to its maximum. Cool, so basically just gonna right click drill into this mountain here and drill straight towards that iron. Awesome. Well, I've exposed a fair bit of that iron now. So now what I'm going to do is just drill it, make sure my ejectors are turned on, which they are. And then if you have a look at the bottom of the ship, you can see the stone just dropping out the bottom of those ejectors there. Now the ship should be able to hold about 80,000 kilos worth of ore, but when it's fully loaded, it is going to be a bit sketchy. You need to be careful when you press the C button to descend, because you can crash into the ground quite easily. Alright, let's just see how much ore we have here. Yeah, we've got a bit. This drill could probably deal with a little bit more, so just mine a little bit more here. Right, I think that should do for now. So let's exit out of our little mine and let's head on back to base. Make sure that we are level. And you might have noticed with this ship, I put more thrusters this way than I did that way, and that's because I want the ship to be able to slow down more than I want the ship to be able to accelerate. So you can see that it decelerates quite quickly, and as you can see, the lights are quite helpful on that base there. It means that we can actually see it when we approach it. So let's just maintain some sort of decent speed, but not go too fast here. And I just want to be careful not to descend too fast, like I said before. It is definitely possible to hit the ground very, very easily. So you just want to be really careful once it's loaded up. Especially on this planet, because the gravity is much, much stronger than any other planet. So on the alien planet, I think it's about 1.1. On Earth, obviously it's 1 because, you know, the gravity is defined by that planet. But on this planet it's 1.2, so you can't really carry anywhere near as much as you can on the other 2 planets. And then obviously Mars is set to 0.9. So let's lock down, and then the refinery will kick into action, and we'll start mining or refining all of this iron for us. So we'll wait for that to complete, and once it's done, well, actually while that's going, I'm going to manufacture probably about 1,000 steel plates, because we're going to use quite a lot of steel plates just to build the frame of this hangar. So we'll let that manufacture, and then we'll be back in a second. Well, everything's been manufactured, all the steel plates have been made, and if you have a look here and look in the inventory, we can see we have quite a number of steel plates. So that should be enough just to build the frame of the hangar. But also while I was gone, lightning actually came along and it damaged this wind turbine, and I was up here just, you know, building these blocks, and then it actually struck me down and I died. So my body just ended up around here. Actually, I'll just pick these things up, and yeah, so that wasn't very good. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get started. Oh yeah, we can actually see that this one here is damaged as well. So yeah, let's just quickly repair that. And while we're getting the components for that, also what I did was I basically went and grabbed all my advanced tools out of the assembler, which I had manufactured before, and that was the proficient welder, grinder, and hand drill. So yeah, let's go and put all these back into the refinery. I just want my steel plates really. Yes, I should probably turn them off. I'll just leave this stone there for now. Okay, so now I want to get started on this actual hangar. So the one thing with the hangar, so let's just turn my lights on here. So basically with this hangar, I was messing around with it a little bit in creative mode, and basically what I figured out is a couple of things. So first of all, I need it to be about 27 blocks wide, and I need it to be about 16 blocks tall. So, and then basically the way I wanted it to be positioned was about 5 blocks out from this here. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these blocks all the way down there. And then from there we're going to create like kind of a hangar that's, you know, X tall or 16 blocks tall. So I'll probably just go and lay out all the blocks for that, and then we'll get the basic frame working, and then yeah, we'll kind of go from there. And yeah, as you can see, it's pitch black as per usual, and we can't see much of anything. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put up a spotlight here, just so we have a little bit more light than what we usually do. So maybe I can put this about there. So I'll probably have to deposit a lot of components for that, and then let's just weld this up. Awesome. Alright, well that gives us a little bit more light so we can see what we're doing. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build some blocks this way. In fact, I will make sure I withdraw enough so that I can actually build this frame. Withdraw all of those. Okay, and now let's basically build these blocks up. So let's build them this way. So all these blocks until I basically get to the wall. And then from there I'm going to make it 27 blocks wide. remember if it was 27 on the inside or 27 on the outside. I'm pretty sure it was 27 on the inside. Yeah, so I'm basically going to go up from here. And I don't really know how high I need to go, but basically that counts as one block, so basically I need to put it down another 26 blocks. So 1, 2, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then we're going to go down. You've got to be careful when you're doing this, because sometimes the blocks can actually, you know, if you place a block when you're going backwards on your jetpack, it can actually get like not attached to the block that you're trying to attach it to, and then just come flying towards you and kill you. So you actually got to be careful sometimes doing this, especially when you're going like, you know, like this. So let's get in under this tree here. Let's place a block there, place another one there, and then let's place some blocks here. So yeah, that's basically going to be our hangar. So what I'll do is I'll jump in the mining ship and I'll park it out the front just so you guys can see a little bit more about what's going on. So if we have a look, so we can kind of see that that's going to be our hangar there. Now, obviously what I'm going to do is all the stuff to the right of me, all these wind turbines and everything like that, that's all going to have to move because yeah, it's like sitting right in the way of where our hangar is. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to drill this out, and as I said, it's going to need to be about, you know, 16 blocks tall. So in order to do that, let's just go and do the following. So let's park this ship back up again. Put this down. Come on, lock on. Yeah, very nice. Nice smooth landing there. I do like a smooth landing. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the lowest point of this ground here. So what I can do is I can just go, I can go B and select local grid align. And basically what that's going to do is basically align it to this grid here. So if we go all the way across, that's a bit strange. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. That massive orange thing that we can see is like the local grid, I guess. Yeah, so this is basically the lowest point. So that this point here, this surface, that's going to represent the floor of my garage. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up 15 blocks from this point because it's 16 blocks including this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then from there I'm going to go all the way back. Well, imagine that. I actually got it right the first time. That is... yeah. That doesn't sound like me.
Fuel low.
Oh no! Time to panic.
Fuel critical.
Yes. I know that my fuel is critical. You know, it would be nice if you could kind of set a threshold for when it actually tells you that you have low fuel, rather than you almost running out and it tells you have no fuel. Because, I mean, at that point, it's quite obvious that you have no fuel because you don't have any fuel. Alright, so I'm probably just going to build this roof out. Now, I'm not sure how far out I want to actually create this thing. So, I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of fill this in a little bit, and then you guys will get a bit of a better idea and an understanding of how this is going to look. Alright guys, well it's almost morning time and I've been playing around with this design a fair bit. So as you can see, this is what the hangar looks like. So on the right is basically the first kind of design I came up with, but I wasn't really happy with you know, the kind of the size of that slope compared to like the height. So I've gone ahead and I've changed it to something like this. So I think this looks a little bit nicer. I could probably even go like down to here and then up like that as well. And in fact, I may actually do that just to make it look just that little bit more interesting. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change this. And oh yeah, also the second thing that I'd done was, you might notice that this is my original 16 blocks tall. Now what I decided to do was make it 2 blocks taller, and that's just because I just wanted to have a fair bit more space than what I need for the rover, that being the Nomad rover. I will leave a link for that rover in the description below so that you can kind of check it out, and then you kind of know a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Alright, so let me just quickly go ahead and change all this up, and yeah, we'll be back. Alright guys, well I'm back, and I have finished laying out kind of the rough outline of the garage slash hangar that I want to create. Obviously I've been at it for quite a while because it's now daylight, but yeah, if you have a look at this, you can kind of get a decent idea of what this thing's going to look like. So I'll probably extend it out to about here, or maybe not. I'm not sure how far I'll have to extend it. So the next thing I need to do is basically hollow out this massive space here. Let's just go and refill our jetpack, because I might need to get myself some more ice soon. I'm actually running a bit low. So obviously now the next thing I need to do is kind of drill out this mountain, as I mentioned just before. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of build a frame that goes on the inside of this frame. And then basically what I'll do is I'll build a frame like this, and then I'm going to grab my drill. I'm going to build the frame, then I'm going to extend it probably 10 or 20 blocks out. And then what I'm going to do is take a blueprint of that, and I'm going to take a blueprint of the empty blocks that aren't actually complete yet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along with my drill, and I'm going to basically drill, right click drill on this X as we go through. So this is a method that I learned from Splitsy, and yeah, it was in his Survival Maybe series. He did it slightly differently though. He drilled like kind of on the edge here, but I like to drill on the side. And I will go away and I will make that particular frame, and then I'll project it through the mountain to kind of give you a better understanding of what I'm trying to do here. So this one's going to be probably the most trickiest frame I've ever built, because I don't normally go on these angles like this. So I'm going to need to try and find you know, the sweet spot for blocks to kind of fit in that shape there. And I'm not exactly sure if I'm actually going to be able to get the this part here to be dead flat. So that's going to be a little bit challenging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this frame, and then I'll show you the frame, and then we'll create a blueprint of it, and then we'll project it through the mountain, and I will show you how to drill out a nice clean hangar. And from this you'll be able to get perfectly flat walls without having to use the drill and fill mod. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Alright guys, well I've been working at it for at least about an hour. And I also discovered that this actually wasn't an odd number, the width of this thing. I haven't really mentioned this before, but sometimes the reason why you might want to make it odd is so that you have like a middle block, and then it just makes it a lot easier for things to happen later on. Then you have, like, you know, somewhere where you can place something in the middle. But with all that being said, I've basically gone and created this frame template here. So it's pretty much incomplete at the moment. And then basically what I've done is I've loaded that into the projector here, and then I've projected it through the mountain. So as I said before, you can see that on the sides here, it's going to be on the inside of this hangar that I want to build, or this garage that I want to build. And you can see this line is also on the inside, and then this line is also on the inside. So basically what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to drill out from here, and then I'm going to project this through the through the voxels or through the walls of this mountain here, and you can see I'm going to drill on this side as well, and all this stuff is going to need to be cleared out as well. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to finish up this frame here. So I'm not sure how many blocks long I'm going to make it. So I'll probably make this like 20 blocks long, and it's going to take me quite a while to build that, and I'm afraid it may actually be night time before I even finish this thing. So yeah, there is that. It's a bit, kind of sucks a little bit because it takes a lot of time to do these things, but yeah, I think in the end it's going to be worth it, and yeah, I'll show you guys how to actually drill this thing up. So I'm going to go and turn this projector off and get rid of the blueprint, and then I'm basically going to finish that drill guide, and then from there we're going to actually start drilling out the hangar. Well, I know this isn't really related to the frame that I'm building here, but yeah, have a look at this, guys. This unknown signal dropped literally right next to my base. So let's see what's in here. 25 steel plates. Let's see if I can actually win something decent out of this one for a change. Badger rifle. Man, I got 20 of those things, I swear. Alright, well, let's grind it all down. Alright, and as you can see, I'm making pretty good progress on this here, so I might actually complete this before the sun goes down. Who knows? I guess stranger things have happened. Alright guys, well finally I have finished the frame. So you can see here that yeah, it's 20 blocks long and it's just basically a solid wall. So yeah, this is what we're going to use to project through that that wall there, and funny thing is I'm actually going to grind this entire thing down once I'm finished with it, and I've actually created the blueprint with it, so it seems like a bit of a waste, but yeah, I guess that is what it is. So let's just create a blueprint of this thing. So let's rename that to the drill guide Wasteland. Yes, I do. And it seems that every single time that I want to speak, the weather comes a-rolling in. But I guess I will just have to speak louder. So let's my helmet on so I don't die. Okay, let's go in here. Let's select our projector. Let's select blueprints. Then let's find our drill guide Wasteland. Double click to select that again. And now, as you can see, it's looking nice and yeah, pretty good. So obviously, as I mentioned before, if I select a block here and I select B, go to local grid alignment, you can see that the blocks are going to be placed directly under these blocks here that we're going to drill out. So I guess what I'll do is I'll start by drilling out this corner here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So basically what I want to do is just come up to, actually no, I'll start from here roughly. So just right click drill. Let's try and follow this line as best we can. So you just keep following this line. And it's a little bit difficult with the very first hole that you do, because your character's legs tend to hit the bottom of the hole and it tends to want to push you upwards. So you got to kind of be careful of that. Right, so now that we have that first initial hole going on, then from there it's pretty easy to do the rest of it. So you can kind of do them from this angle and let your legs dangle below. So obviously we can just keep drilling straight like that. And then we just, you know, kind of rinse and repeat. So we just kind of drill that hole like that. Yeah, and as you can see, get up close here, you can see that we have like a pretty smooth wall on the side here, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So what I'm going to do is probably move this projector forward a little bit. I'll actually, no, what I'll do is I'll turn my character upside down, and as you can see on the left there and the bottom, I've actually got 3 bottles now, because I've found I was constantly running out of fuel just due to the high gravity of this planet. So I'm going to basically drill out this floor to begin with. And then once I've done this floor bit, I'm probably going to move this projection forward a lot. Just continue on. Same as we did before. Awesome. Alright, and like I said before, what you can do is kind of go on the edge, although because it's a bit of a slope, I might just go like this, just drill upside down. I think that's going to work out pretty well for us, at least until we get to about this area here. Let's go back in there. Just keep drilling, keep drilling, keep drilling. Oh yeah, it looks like I actually found that mod wasn't working where the cargo ships weren't spawning, but it seems to be fixed now, so I'm not sure if the creator of that mod has released an update or something. But yeah, before it wasn't really working, so I think it had something to do with the extremely thin atmosphere of this planet. So I find in this planet, if you just go up like 2 kilometers, you can actually escape the atmosphere, which is pretty weird. And the gravity well on this planet seems to be quite shallow as well. So yeah, I think this planet would be really easy to like leave with a hydrogen ship, if you know what I mean. Let's just tilt our character. Now, honestly, this initial part here is probably the hardest part, because you know you've got to get your character on weird angles to try and drill this hole as straight as possible. And basically, how well you follow this X is how straight your walls and your floors will be. So you kind of want to make it as straight as possible, and as you can see, it's going to take me quite a while to get this kind of started, I would say. And then obviously once you've drilled out these kind of slots on the sides, then you want to come in with your mining ship and right click drill out the middle part. So you can see here, so let me just go and turn this projector off. So let's select the projector, turn that off, and yeah, you can kind of see the beginnings of my floor here. Oh, thank goodness that stopped. It would have actually been really nice if that weather hadn't been there when I was trying to actually explain how to drill this out, but you know, what do you do? Not much you can do, I suppose. So yeah, as you can see, this is going to be where our floor is. So can I align this to the local grid? Yes, I can. So is that where our floor is going to be? Floor is basically going to be like there. Let me just quickly lay out some blocks here and just see how this is looking. Yeah, so our floor is basically going to be like this, like right there. So yeah, that's our floor, and then obviously our wall is going to be like this. Let's just lay out this wall. Not sure why the sound has gone all bizarre when it comes to this, you know. It is a bit annoying, but what can you do? Yeah, and you can kind of see, like, when you drill in that center bit, you get a nice flat wall, and you can basically cover it with blocks however you wish. So yeah, I'll probably end up running the hangar or the garage wall to this spot here, around here somewhere, or maybe even out further, like right near the entrance to the base, or where this kind of temporary base is, just because, like, yeah, it's I kind of want to cover up this part here a bit, and I suspect that I'm going to have to drill a lot of this out for a long way out that way. So yeah, looks like I've got some drilling to do. So I think what I'm going to go and do is do just that, do a whole heap of drilling, and then I will be back once I've drilled out the first little outlines of this kind of hangar, and then from there we'll start yeah, kind of creating the walls and the roof and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's finally starting to take shape. It's taken me a while to get there, but yeah, we'll get this done pretty quickly. Alright guys, well, I've done a fair bit of drilling. I've drilled out all the about as much as I could with where that projection actually was in this wall, and yeah, as you can see, I've kind of made a fairly big dent in this this here mountain. So we have a nice flat floor here. Now obviously the object is to extend this floor all the way out here, so I'm going to need to carve quite a big corner out of this mountain here, and unfortunately it's right underneath where, you know, my current base is. So what I'm going to have to do fairly shortly is pick up all this stuff and kind of move it in here. But I think before I you know, get too far ahead of myself in terms of moving all of this stuff over there, what I really need to do is just actually make a decent indent into this mountain. So let's just get in our, okay, that was weird. Let's just get into the control panel here, open up our projector, we'll turn the projection back on, and I will put the forward offset at about 30 or about 50, I reckon. Let's just see where we're at with that. So yeah, I mean, we're making pretty good progress into this mountain here. So I think what I'm going to do is drill that part of it out. Where is the front here? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to need to pull it back probably 2 more blocks because you can't actually see it from here. So let's just make sure we can see it from everywhere, and I'll show you what I mean in a second by see it. So let's pull that back by about 48. Yeah, that's about the sweet spot. So now you can see what I mean. So now we can actually see the projection here, and again, it's going to be exactly the same as before. You know, I'm basically going to drill this corner all the way to the back here. So we'll just, let me just demonstrate this again for you guys. Just drill, drill, drill. Drill down this X. Try not to go too fast because your character tends to, as I said, his legs hit the bottom of the hole, and then he, like, yeah, you can see it's very hard to line up. I wish you could kind of crouch while flying the jetpack. That'd be nice. So yeah, you almost have to like point the drill a little bit downwards to try and do this sometimes, hey. So let's just keep drilling until we get to the end. And as I said, this first initial drill is the hardest because, you know, your character's legs is hitting the bottom of the hole and he's trying to push you upwards, you know, and away from the center of the block. How many more blocks do we have here? Not too many. Oh, cool. So we finally reached the end of the hole. Yeah, and as you can see, we're going to get pretty deep into this mountain here. So, and then from there, this one's really easy. So as you can see, you can just kind of glide through it, you know, and you don't really have to. As long as you have your wits about you, you can kind of keep the character pretty steady, and you can get this done relatively quickly. Awesome. And I'll just demonstrate it one more time. And yeah, we'll just come up to this wall. Whoops, kind of went off target there. And once you find yourself in a kind of a straight line, then you can just, you know, really get some momentum going, and if you time it right, then you can kind of get through it really quickly and it doesn't take you too much time. yeah, as you can see, we have a nice wall. So let me just go and turn this projector off so I can show you that wall that we just made. Let's just go and have a look at our wall. And there you go. And so that's basically how I get a nice straight wall. So obviously I'll just continue that up and up and up and up and across and all the way down here on the bottom as well. And then yeah, we'll have a nice little, well, it's not really little, but yeah, we'll have a nice garage to park our rover. Alright, so I'm going to drill all that out, and then I think from there I'm basically going to start drilling out the inside of it, so that then we actually have a nice, oh, he's getting pretty close. Is he crashing? I think he might be actually, eh? Let's have a look at this. No, I don't think he's crashing. It looked like he was there for a second. That's weird. Anyway, yeah, so basically I'll start drilling this out with my mining ship, and yeah, we'll start making a massive kind of garage out of this. And then once I've done that, then I'll probably start moving all of these components into the shed, hangar slash garage, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it a hangar because, yeah, I'm just keep mixing up my words, so yeah. Alright, well I'll see you guys in a second once I've cleared all this out. G'day guys. Alright, so I'm back. I have been drilling out this hangar for quite some time. What I've done is I've basically projected the blocks through the wall, as I said before, and I've probably drilled it from this end here, probably about 30 or 40 blocks. But just before I finish up this, I just thought I'd show you how I done this part here, which is like this little curve. So basically, just to do this part here, like this curve, I basically drilled here in the middle here, and then for this part here, I'm just going to drill here like this. So I'll just show you this quickly. So yeah, just try and maintain it in the same spot, and then just keep drilling in that spot there, and then it should be pretty good, pretty straight. I found this curve to be a little bit tricky, hey. It did take me a while to figure it out, but you know, I did a couple of test runs and then, you know, just reloaded the save if I messed up, but this is what I found to work the best. Right, so then we do that one, and then I do the other one in kind of a similar location, so just kind of like here. So we'll just do this one again in this spot. This one's a little bit tricky because you can't really kind of follow the X like I did last time. I think overall it's looking pretty good. Alright, cool. So it's not like totally straight, but it's not too bad either. Yeah, so you can kind of see it on this side, it's a little bit better. It's like a little bit rough, but yeah, I think overall it's looking pretty good. So yeah, as you can see, I've drilled out just an absolute, yeah, like a lot. So I've probably been at it for about 2 or 3 hours. So alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to jump in the mining ship, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to mine all this out. So unlock it, and then let's jump into the mining ship. And basically what you want to do is just right click drill. Now I suppose you can left click drill this out and kind of collect all the ore and then, you know, refine it all, but it's not really worth it, because, and especially now, because what I'm going to have to do is move all of this stuff to you know, inside the hangar, so it's not really a good idea at the moment. So yeah, we'll just kind of choose a spot here. You've also got to be careful how close you get to the walls and the floor as well, because sometimes you can actually undo some of your hard work by you know, drilling some of the wall away as well. So just kind of find a good happy medium spot. Doesn't help that the mining ship moves around quite a lot. And yeah, and then we just kind of do that. Let's do another little bit here. Luckily this ship is quite narrow and it can kind of create a hole for itself, so it's not too bad. Let's just make sure we're not drilling into the floor there. No, looks pretty good. It looks like we have more weathering coming. So yeah, alright, well I'm going to drill this out for a little bit, and then once it's all drilled out I'll be back and yeah, we can get a closer look at the hangar. And then what I'll probably do is I'll project the Nomad into the hangar so we can kind of get an idea of how big that's going to be inside this hangar. Alright guys, so you can see that I've drilled out quite a bit of this hangar slash garage, but one thing has kind of happened that has got me a little bit curious. So I kind of noticed that every time I start to record the weather kicks up, but also this this hunchback dropship seems to have like gone dead in the water. So I reckon I'm gonna go check this thing out and see what we can get off this thing. So let's select my rifle here. So that's interesting. I haven't actually selected my rifle yet. I wonder how badly damaged this thing is, and if we can get any kind of like... Oh, actually it looks like it's still floating in the air, but it's like... doesn't appear to be moving at all though. So I wonder what it's actually doing. Maybe it's like stuck. And before I left I actually let's remove that. Character weapons, automatic rifle. What? 90 bullets? You're kidding. It's got quite a few turrets on it. I don't know if I really want to attempt this just yet. But it does seem to just be sitting there and doing nothing. I don't know what it's doing. How many turrets has it got? Whoop. Yeah, no, I'm not going to attempt fate. I don't think... Well, number one, I don't even have enough bullets to actually take anything on that ship out, and yeah, I'm probably just going to die. And it seems like they've released this update with these ships where whenever you get close to him now, your jetpack gets disabled. So yeah, there is that as well. Well, I suppose I'll go back and continue drilling out this. Oh man, these storms are just so loud. So yeah, I'll go back and I'll continue drilling out the hangar, and then I'll be back in a second. Well, I finally finished drilling out this hangar. Well, I mean, as you can see, the hangar's looking pretty good. Let's get on to fitting in the rover into this hangar here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this projector here, and I'm basically going to project the Nomad into this here hangar, and we'll see how it looks. So I've basically centered up the blueprint, and yeah, you can kind of get a better idea of how this hangar is going to work. So yeah, this is obviously the Nomad. This is what I'm going to print next, and yeah, this is going to be its living space. So as you can see, it fits quite well. I know it's pretty dark in here at the moment, but hopefully we'll get that sussed out pretty soon. Yeah, so I'm not sure why the wheels aren't showing up on this blueprint though. That's a little bit strange. So I think next what I'm going to do is probably try and start laying out the floor, and then what I'll do is I'll maybe create a room on the side here so that I can kind of put all my production and refinery gear in there, and yeah, go from there. Okay guys, so basically what I've done here is I've just laid out some of the floor, and let me just quickly go over what I've done. So I've laid the floor as far back as I can here, all the way to the back of the hangar or the garage, and I've also put some blocks right up to the top of the hangar here, and then all across the roof, and I haven't actually done the other side yet. And then what I did is because the Nomad blueprint is kind of centered into the middle of the garage, what I've done is I've just kind of built some blocks across here upwards, and then I've placed the suspension and the wheel down. So basically what the plan for this garage is that on the left hand side here we're going to just have regular light armor blocks, and then where the wheels are going to go we're going to have blast doors, and the reason for that is because I find that blast doors are a lot more stable when it comes to wheels. For whatever reason, the last time I used this rover on my Mars save, and that's actually what I built this rover for, was Mars. On that planet, when I had platforms that were made out of light armor blocks, the wheels would actually sink through them. So I kind of don't want to risk that again. Now, they say that they have fixed all these types of things in the new update, in the Wasteland update, but yeah, I don't know if they actually have done that yet. So I'd rather not find out the hard way, and I'd rather just, you know, be prepared for that. So yeah, as I said before, I've just basically laid out 4 blocks wide here, and this is going to be where the wheels go, and the rest of the floor is just going to be standard light armor blocks. And I might actually make use of the new, I think, did they put a concrete, I think they did, they put like a concrete, yeah, a concrete paint. So yeah, I'm going to use that probably for the floor. And then, you know, maybe a little bit of battered armor as well. I'm not really sure about the yeah, the style that I'm going to go for here with this. And then I don't know if I'm actually going to extend the hangar out this far. I'll probably just leave it kind of where it is, or maybe just go to this point here, because I don't want it to overhang too much. Yeah, I might just go there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I think I'm just going to leave that there, and that's going to be the end of this episode. In the next episode, obviously, I'm going to start welding up this floor, but before I do that, I'll probably end up moving all of these production blocks across to the hangar, and then I can kind of finish off this part here, finish drilling this out all the way out to about here, or wherever I need to go with that, and then, you know, that should conclude digging out the hangar, and then we can start making the hangar. And then obviously I want to start getting like the support brackets for the hangar kind of sussed out and what I want to do for that. And I think I am just going to leave this entire area here exposed. And then yeah, I need to flatten out the back wall of this hangar as well because that's a little bit rough. Yeah, so there's going to be all that stuff in the next episode. So I hope to see you in episode 4. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you then.